we're back again. I guess we can just start the stream over. Why don't we just start over? Hi everybody, welcome back to the real. This is the start of the stream. Hi everybody. So I got this game yesterday, right? Oh, say hi, Cassie.
Hi.
Hi, Cassie's here. So if you don't know what this is from 2020. So last year. It's a brand new NES game. It's an NES conversion of Pac-Man Championship Edition, and it is the most incredible NES game I think I've ever seen. Like, even among other like NES games made in the modern day, this is the best one for sure that I've seen. Yes, this works on an actual NES, and people have ripped the ROM out of this game and played it on real hardware, and it works. This is just an NES game.
Yeah. It was created by Milk Ape.
So I really wanted to stream this because it's truly incredible. Also, are you getting the game audio?
Me?
Well, you're probably not. You probably don't have the stream audio on.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just always want to make sure. Like, this is, like... Hold on, wait. Actually, first, you know what? Before I show you this, so, I gotta give you a comparison. Let me show you what just regular Pac-Man looked like on the NES in 1984. No game audio? Okay, how about now? Are you getting game audio now?
Burger?
So for comparison, I want to show you what Pac-Man looked like on the NES in 1984. Because this is all NES versions of the games here. So this is how it looked, right? And sounded. It was a little scrungy. This is one of the earliest NES games. So you gotta, like, cut them a little slack. There wasn't a lot on the system yet at this point.
You gotta cut them some smack.
Also, this gives me an opportunity to mention that all of the games in this Namco Museum Archives Volume 1 thing are NES conversions, but it doesn't say that anywhere. I just realized it, because, you know, I recognize that these are NES games. Like, especially Pac-Man, it's very obvious. But it doesn't say that anywhere. The closest it says on any of the stuff I was looking at about this game is it says this is 8-bit, or it's all our games from the 8-bit era, and it's like nothing tells you that it's the NES versions.
I don't know much about this sort of thing, but could it be a legality thing?
I don't know.
Or
They
is it
have
just that they didn't want to mention it?
I don't know. They have the arcade versions, like they port those too. So this is a problem they have a lot, because I remember there was like these little tiny plug-and-play consoles they had fairly recently that like didn't advertise that they were the NES versions, and people were upset about that.
How significant are the differences?
Well, this is very different from regular Pac-Man. Like, the colors are weird, and like the proportions are a little off.
Huh.
Like, look at the fruits on the side there. They're like totally different from normal. And the ghosts don't have blue pupils; they have black ones.
Oh.
The fruits are supposed to have green parts, and they're also the wrong shade of red.
Is it just visual differences?
The gameplay is... Oh, the sound is different. The sound doesn't sound quite right. And the visuals are a little different. And I think the gameplay is probably not exactly the same as well. But anyway, so that's what 1984 Pac-Man looked like, right? One of the very earliest NES games. Pretty simple, right?
Oh, this was one of the first NES games?
Yeah, it's from 1984.
I did not know that.
Can can you confirm that you can hear the game, everybody? Can hear. Okay, good. Thank you, Ash. Alright, and now for comparison, here's Pac-Man Championship Edition on the NES from 2020. Nearly 40 years later. Look at how, or listen to how much closer the sound effects are to regular Pac-Man, for one thing. Still got the off yellow, but that's just because it's... And look, they got the colors on the fruit. The ghosts still don't have blue pupils, though, but that's okay. But look at this! This is an NES game!
It's pretty wild.
This is just like everything of Pac-Man Championship Edition is here. It's really, really something. Like, I don't know how they did this on the NES. Like, I was talking about, probably the most impressive thing about this to me is how little sprite flicker there is. Like, it happens sometimes, but it's, like, barely noticeable. And, like, I've played NES games with a lot less going on that had a lot more noticeable flicker than this. This is what, like, what, 36... No, or... How many years... I can't do math in my head. How many years between 1984 and 2020? Are you still there, Cassie?
Yeah.
There you are.
Yahoo!
Oops. There was a peach butt there. I just ate a peach butt. And look at the graphics for when Pac-Man returns. It's really neat. Neat animation. Got bananas. Bree says, how did they do this? It's hard to read chat while playing this, but I'll do my best. And the music is really good too. This is some of the best like NES music I've ever heard. I love this. Like, if I had gotten this when it came out, oops, I think this would have been one of my games of the year for 2020 if I'd gotten this last year. It's so cool. Oop, I got trapped. Cassie is doing Mario tricks? What?
What?
Bree says you're doing Mario tricks.
Because I'm saying Yahoo? Wahoo!
You get a lot of one-ups in this. One of the tricks to Pac-Man Championship Edition is to keep the ghosts blue like almost all the time. As much as you can. I love that they even managed to include the sparks flying off of Pac-Man when you're going around the corners. Or pushing against the corner, or pushing against the walls, I should say. Get a lot of points here.
Oh! Wait a minute.
Huh?
I'm reading on here, and apparently the NES version of Pac-Man doesn't have the like...
Intermissions?
Game S level.
Oh, I see.
No, I think it has the intermissions. It just doesn't have the...
I was just trying to guess what you were going to say it didn't have.
I think it doesn't end. I think it just goes forever, basically.
Oh, interesting. So, well, it's kind of inferior in several other ways. It fixes that issue. They managed to fix one thing. Pac-Man eat a hamburger. This even goes through, this even has all the same fruits that Pac-Man Championship Edition had. Which, you know, some of them are not fruits, but... I'm getting a lot of pointers. Look at all the pointers I'm
so
scoring.
except for aesthetic differences, and a few differences with the ghosts. Like, they have larger collision detection, apparently.
Huh.
And also...
Like, it's not the worst
when
version of the game.
Right, and
But
also,
you can understand why
don't...
people might be disappointed if they didn't realize that's what they were gonna get, as opposed to our original arcade version.
Right, and also apparently they don't switch direction when they're going from chase to scatter mode, only scatter to chase.
Interesting. Also, like, if you want to, like, it was probably especially good at the time because it would have been incredible compared to the Atari version. Yeah, Pac-Man drifts. Sasha. And it even does the little graph at the end.
Miss Pac-Man on Switch? I like that game
No.
because it's fast from the start.
The last time they ported Miss Pac-Man was as DLC on Pac-Man Collection on Steam. You had to pay like $6 extra for it.
Didn't I hear something about Miss Pac-Man as a character has been like dropped or something?
Yeah.
So I can use her again.
Yeah, I think I was talking with somebody about that recently. Because they've always had like a tenuous, they've always like not really enjoyed using Miss Pac-Man because like it was started out as a bootleg, and so I think they rather forget about it or pretend it didn't exist. Like it's not like whenever they've done a history of Pac-Man thing before and like listed like all the games, they've never included Miss Pac-Man.
Incredible.
Just absolutely never. Hey, that was a new high score. Check that out. I'll do the extra as well. Just look at how good the UI and everything is in this. It's incredible. I found out that Namco one time released one of the other bootleg Pac-Man versions that Midway did. They released Pac-Man Plus one time on a plug-and-play system, which was also a bootleg by Midway. That's the one where when the ghosts turn blue, they grow a little leaf on their head instead of just turning blue.
Which game?
Pac-Man Plus.
Oh,
and also,
incredible.
Instead of a cherry at the beginning, it's like a Coca-Cola can.
I wonder if the leaf is supposed to make them look like fruits so that it's more clear that you can eat them.
And when Pac-Man Plus was originally... Oh! Pac-Man Plus, when it was originally released, it was released as an upgrade kit for regular Pac-Man. Like, you would install it on a regular Pac-Man machine and it would convert it to Pac-Man Plus.
Oh.
Which is interesting. It's a conversion.
Going online.
Listen to the music for this level, by the way, everybody. It's really wild.
Going on the line to learn about Miss Pac-Man's death, I guess.
There's also apparently a
I don't see anything on the Pac-Man wiki about Miss Pac-Man's death.
There was an interesting... Well, I think it's just because the last time Miss Pac-Man appeared was in like a crossover event with a Sonic mobile game.
Oh,
years
so
ago.
You mean it's not like official? Like they've never
It just,
said
it seems like they're not going to use her anymore.
I see. According to this wiki, her last appearance was Smash Ultimate in 2018.
There's like a brief cameo in the Pac-Land stage, I think. This is like NES dubstep. I've never heard music like this on the NES. Bree says she will grow a leaf on her head. I don't think her appearance in Smash Bros. Ultimate like quite counts as like a true appearance because it's just like a background thing that just happened to be in Pac-Land. Didn't do as well at this stage as I did on the other one. Oh, that was a cool move I just pulled off, but it didn't really help me that much in the end.
You put off the pack move?
There was
This
also
game gets fast.
yeah. There was also a cool Sega Genesis version of Miss Pac-Man. Have you ever seen that?
No,
Like changed things quite a bit.
I don't think so.
Hi, Shan.
Shan.
This is very similar to regular Pac-Man Championship Edition, by the way. Like, so if you've seen this, you've basically seen what regular Pac-Man Championship Edition is, aside from the high-definition graphics.
Right.
Or 3DS graphics if you play the 3DS version. I'll play one more round, so Shan can see. What was I gonna say?
And we'll play Brain World.
Yeah. What was I gonna look at? Look at how it plays it in the demo! So slow!
I like that the names on the score table are the ghosts.
Can't find any
This
good
game
images of...
Really cool.
I guess this is a fairly good image of it. It's very small, let me make it bigger for you.
Do they have to, like, get Nintendo's permission to, like, publish, like, officially publish an NES game in 2020?
I don't think so. Because, like, NES emulators are, like, those are fine, you know? You don't have to license them from Nintendo or anything. Emulators have always been legal.
I guess.
And they own the ROMs, right? It's Namco. So yeah, there's what the Genesis Miss Pac-Man looks like.
New NES game, I guess. I don't know.
No. Because they're not releasing it like they're just making a ROM that runs on this emulator is what they could say, you know? Like the fact that it actually runs on an NES is besides the point. But yeah, this is what the Genesis Miss Pac-Man looked like. Apparently it's pretty cool.
Oh, whoa, look at that art style.
Uh-huh. It has a really weird title screen though, famously.
I wanna see.
Yeah, let me get it here. Well, and then there's also the beta version of it that looks even worse, but... Oops, 1 second. There you go, Cassie. That's the Genesis Miss Pac-Man title screen. I would love to play this one sometime, but I don't know how I would get it.
You just gotta wait for it to show up. I don't see it yet.
It's really something.
I like that the ghosts sweat. Do you think they're saying fuck?
Maybe.
Oh wow, look at that title screen.
We'll do normal again. Here you go, Shan. This is an actual NES ROM. That's why it's so impressive.
Well, the title screen could be worse.
Oh, you want to see the worst version of it? There's a beta version that's much worse.
Yeah.
See if I can get a good look at that. Ah, here it is. I have found it. Oops. Here you go. There you go, Cassie. There's the beta version. And everybody else, here's the beta version of Miss Pac-Man on Genesis.
Oh! Holy shit!
Maybe that should be the great evil that we defeat on my stream.
That sure exists.
Here's something much nicer for y'all to look at.
I like how they evidently hadn't drawn the logo behind Miss Pac-Man's tiles yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing they drew logo tiles, and they drew tiles for the image, and then they just squirted the image tiles on, and then they're like, well, now we gotta draw the logo into the image tiles.
I don't know how they managed to make her look so scary.
God, yeah. She will fucking buzz your bees, no questions asked.
Will you buzz my bees?
Oh yeah, I would always buzz your bees.
Thank you, Cassie. It's just wild, because NES games could never have looked like this at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Midway making their own, like, oh, Midway, I always loved that Midway just made their own Pac-Man games, unlicensed, basically, because, like, things like that would never happen nowadays. Like, the only reason that happened was because video games were so new at the time, still.
Yeah, they do it because they're the silly boys.
It was the Wild West of video games. In the early 80s. It ended with Namco revoking Midway's rights to publish Pac-Man arcade machines. And they just did it themselves ever since.
Rip and Pope.
And the reason they started... Yeah?
Is Pac-Man published by Probe?
No! The reason...
I love that Probe. Sounds vaguely weird.
Yeah. The reason Midway started making their own bootleg Pac-Man stuff was because they were apparently tired of waiting for Namco to make their own sequel to Pac-Man. And so they just did it themselves. They made their own sequel.
Incredible.
And it started as just another unlicensed Pac-Man game by somebody else. It was called Crazy Otto. It was like a little... It was just like Pac-Man, but it was like a little dude with legs.
Yeah. I hate Miss Pac-Man's character design.
Oh. Which in all places, Midway found Crazy Otto in an advertisement in Time magazine. Apparently. Which you can see that advertisement that they would have seen. And then they bought it, and then just changed the graphics to Miss Pac-Man. So it was originally Pac-Man, somebody changed the graphics and reprogrammed some of the behavior. And then Midway bought that and made it into Pac-Man again, basically.
Incredible.
Turned it back into Pac-Man. I love the story of Midway and Namco early stuff because it's just so wild. It's like some of the wildest video game history stuff that there is.
There's also Baby Pac-Man, right?
Yeah, they did a ton of them. They also did a quiz game called Professor Pac-Man. That was the last one they did. And that one was a big flop, apparently.
Baby Pac-Man.
Yeah, Baby Pac-Man was cool, though, because it was also a pinball machine.
Like
you would move Baby Pac-Man off the bottom of the screen, and then a pinball would pop out there, and you'd play pinball.
Whoa.
And then eventually you'd get the pinball to go back up, and then you'd play Pac-Man again.
The naming conventions of Pac-Man characters are so bizarre.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's all Midway's fault. It's not even Namco did that.
Why couldn't they just call him Pac Baby? Or did they really have to make the brand like that, like front and center? They're like, hey everyone, this is a Pac-Man game. Don't make no mistake. This is Pac-Man.
Makes me wonder how Namco would have done it. Like, would Namco have made like a family for Pac-Man?
I don't think so.
Like, what would have happened if Midway had not interfered like this?
Pac-Man's like weird, like nuclear family guy thing is like so weird. That is not the Pac-Man that exists in my mind. In my mind, Pac-Man is a little like, he's almost like an amoeba. He just does.
Yeah.
Like, he acts without thinking.
And yes, Fidget, this is the NES one. That's why I'm playing it, because this is the most incredible NES game I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like a game of Pac-Man is a cellular process. Like,
yeah.
Pac-Man is an amoeba, and the ghosts are... Well, I feel like the ghosts are like human kind of sapiens.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, Professor Pac-Man I wanted to mention was wild because they thought it would be a good idea to make a quiz game, arcade game.
In an arcade.
Yeah.
That's a weird like idea.
And
I don't know if it's a bad idea, but it sure is a weird one.
They intended it to be in bars as well.
Uh-huh.
Like, people at the bar would play it, and they had, like, cartridges you could get for it that you could use to periodically change what the questions were, so that people couldn't just memorize the answers to the questions.
Not bad.
But, yeah, that didn't apparently go over very well.
Was it even, like, a Pac-Man game, though?
No,
like,
well, I mean, it had Professor Pac-Man.
And that's it? That's the only thing tying it to
as far as I'm aware, yeah. And I think there was like some Pac-Man graphics in between levels.
Right.
Professor Pac-Man. And then Professor Pac-Man later showed up in Pac-Man World, you may remember.
So, that's probably why I never hear about Baby Pac-Man, because if you wanted to re-release it, you would sort of have to like make a video game pinball.
Yeah, apparently MAME, somebody's done like an emulator version of it, but there's never been an official one.
Oh, that's kind of a shame. I
Um,
mean, I guess like it would probably kind of kill some of the appeal, because like, if you think about it, Pac-Man and pinball, I can't imagine how well they would actually line up mechanically, but
Yeah.
like I feel like it would be novel, like in an actual arcade setting. It's like, oh, look at that, first, you know, it's on the screen and then it goes off the bottom and it comes out as a physical pinball object.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of cool, but
yeah.
probably wouldn't be that cool in a just, you know, if it's virtually pinball.
Professor Pac-Man, I'm just looking it up here. It says over 500 animated questions.
Animated questions.
Yeah, there's like little Pac-Man animations.
It can be a bespoke animation for
Oh my
everyone,
God.
though, right?
Look at this. Look at how the questions are worded. No wonder this didn't do very well. Which deer is the same as?
What?
Which deer is the same
Ash
as?
said that I'm one of the smartest people he knows. What makes you say that, Ash?
Which deer is the same as? Also, let me get you a picture of Baby Pac-Man before we move on. This is a good time to just show these things while we're thinking about it. Let me see. I'm trying to get a good image of the machine. There's an image of it. You can see that. I think this is the MAME version. I don't think this is an actual image of the physical machine.
Something simple you wouldn't question? I'm thinking about how it works. What's the example? I can't think of anything I said. But thank you, Ash.
Have you ever seen the art for Baby Pac-Man, Cassie? The art from the side of the cabinet. Look at him! There's Baby Pac-Man, everybody.
He's in there.
That's Baby Pac-Man! There was also Pac-Man Jr. Don't forget that one. Where the main mechanic of that was that it had really wide... It had really wide levels. With scrolling. Here's a better image of the cabinet.
Like Championship Edition.
Yeah. There's Baby Pac-Man. That's how it looks. It's pretty wild. You get the joystick in the middle, and you have the flipper buttons on the sides. I feel like maybe that one would have gone over better if it hadn't been like Baby Pac-Man. I think it's 4 babies. Oh my god, I got one more image of Baby Pac-Man for you before we move on. There he is! Look at it! I love the Pac-Man shaped stroller. It's perfect.
Can't wait.
I love it so much.
Just a few short moments that we'll be seeing Baby Pac-Man.
He's gotta be fancy, Ash. He's gonna drink that bottle like sophisticated boy.
Oh my god, look at Baby Pac-Man, what the fuck? Holy shit.
Alright. This is on sale for $10 right now. I'd totally recommend it. Like, for the Championship Edition alone. It's got a couple games that, like, I haven't had... The only time I've had Mappy was on the DS version of Namco Museum, so it's nice to have it here.
What even is Mappy? Isn't Mappy a cop?
Yeah. Mappy's fun. It's like a side-scrolling Pac-Man.
Huh.
What do you mean wasps don't make... Or not, ants don't make sense in the same order, Ash? They have the same exact body shape as wasps. Wasps are like basically just big ants. I was surprised to find out that bees were in the same group because they have a different body... they have a totally different body plan. Like, if you look at ants with wings, they just look like wasps. And there's some wasps that don't have wings that just look like big ants. Like, have you ever seen velvet ants? Velvet ants are not ants, they're wasps. Some ants have stingers too, also, Ash, by the way. And some wasps bite.
Right. I'm checking the votes for the current round of SpongeBob episode eliminations.
Uh-huh.
The round isn't over yet, but...
Let me fix this. What was I gonna say about that? And also, ants, bees, and wasps all share living in colonies with each other. Like, they have the same sort of social structures. Although wasps... A lot of wasps do not do the colony thing. There's a lot of solitary wasps. But there's no solitary ants or bees. There used to be solitary ants, or ants that lived in smaller colonies, but those were around the time of the dinosaurs. And by the time the dinosaurs went extinct, the only ants that survived were the ones that were in giant eusocial colonies. And also ants were less common during the time of the dinosaurs. They really like blew up after the dinosaurs went extinct. It became one of the most common types of insects that there are. Anyway, Cassie, you can continue your thing. Sorry.